because you've always spoke on basically racism and racism within the drag community. With everything that's going on, I just want to know from you, do you have any encouraging words or words of advice for young black drag entertainers who are trying to find their joy right now, and how to kind of combat racism right now through all of this?
I think my message is more generalized for all queer people, especially black queer youth who want to become artists of any sort. My message is that from the beginning, the odds will be all against you. People will categorize you. They will say disencouraging things. They will use their race as an advantage against you, regardless. And then they will say they're not racist. None of this matters. As black youth becoming artists of any kind, keep your eye on your prize, keep your eye on your goals, and just keep moving forward. Just understand that in your skin is depth, is history, and is beauty. And that history and beauty is what's going to make you shine and transcend at the end of the day. What is more important is call a bitch out when you have to, stick up for yourself, but always keep your eyes forward. I think that when you're a person of color in any artistry, people bullshit because they want to distract you, because they know you'll get ahead. But resilience is in our blood. We always rise above. And I think that this is ultimately what Black Lives Matter is about. This is what all these movements are about. This is not about, are we going to survive or are we going to make it? No, we're going to regardless. Whether you say yes or not, we will make it. It's about you admitting and you understanding that you can't make this disappear. Hell, your great-grandparents brought us here. What you going to do about it now?
Amen. That's a word. That's real. I see why you're a priest now. I get it. It's making sense. It's making sense. So I have to ask the obligatory Drag Race question, just because I feel like there has to be some payoff for people who may watch this and they just want Drag Race stuff. So yeah, but I want to know, because I feel like it doesn't really matter. Drag Race doesn't really matter at this point. Like what we just talked about matters. But just to keep it light and fun, and just to end off on something positive, that is not so like heavy, I guess. Not necessarily just positive, but All Stars is coming up. You're no stranger to Drag Race, and especially with All Stars, you killed your season.
Shea Coulee.
Shea Coulee.
I don't know what you're going to ask, but the answer is Shea Coulee.
Always.
There is no other answer.
Shea Coulee is always the answer.
Coulee is always the correct answer.
Yes.
Shea Coulee. C, Shea Coulee, and D, all of the above / Shea Coulee.
There we go. Yes.
Period.
Yes. See, you read my mind. You really are in tune with your spiritual. Okay. Read my mind. Because I was going to ask who you're rooting for. Also, I just feel like we know the twist this season is them. They're going to be going against Lip Sync Assassins. I'm not asking you to confirm or deny anything, but I feel like Aja is like the Lip Sync Assassin. So I hope to see.
Called me, I said no. I was really? Like, no. Absolutely. I was like, and it was an ongoing thing because there were other things that were asked in that conversation, and I was like, I'm just not interested. Like, I don't really like have any interest in being in relation to the Drag Race brand. I spent the last 2 years sort of like diverting from it. Mm-hmm. I feel like the fan base is beautiful, the queens are beautiful. I like what they've done. I don't like the non-inclusivity of the show at this point. I also don't like a lot of the narratives that have been given to the black and brown queens. But more so than anything, I'm a rapper. I'm not a drag queen anymore. Like for me, it's like I need to find my new demographic. I need to find my new platform, because I realized that doing Drag Race and being exposed to these people and then doing it made me unhappy, because I felt like I was in. It's become a novelty now. It's not and now you're not being appreciated because you're an individual artist. Now it's just like, I love drag queens, I love this and the other, and like even local artists like are appreciated for themselves. I feel like eventually to become a trophy or a sticker, and it's just like, ooh, I'm not a collectible. Like I'm a person, and I'm an individual, and I in fact think I'm very special, and I prefer.
You are,
and that's one thing. That's one thing. Thank you. That's one thing that really was hard for me too, was to decide, like, do I stick to my artistic integrity or do I stick around and get the coins? I chose my artistic integrity. I took an L. I suffered financially. I lost tens of thousands of followers. But in a sense, I feel more happy. From time to time, for shits and giggles, I would get on Instagram Live and do a little lip sync for fun, or like have fun. But it's really all lighthearted. I love drag. I think drag will always play an excellent, big part of my life, and it'll always be something that inspires me. I just don't think that my passion is drag. I just always wanted to be a musician, and I think I never believed in myself until I got the coins. And now I'm just like, okay, now if I want to finesse that, I can do that. And I now that's where my mind is. And some people have asked, like, don't you think that's a disservice to your drag fans? And I'm like, no. And I'll tell you why. If you're going to, I think this is a lesson for all Drag Race fans to learn. If you're going to become a fan of the drag, you have to become a fan of the person as well.
That part.
And I think people dehumanize drag queens, and I don't like that. But I do hope that a lot of artists who come off of Drag Race also decide to eventually build their own route. I think it's inevitable that Drag Race one day will end. And I think that the momentum of the show has already sort of declined. I'm not afraid to say that. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think unless they start allowing different artists or like trans artists or like, you know, different people on the show, eventually people are just going to stop. They're going to stop watching. And, you know, it may seem all cute and all because they got high ratings this season, but that's because we was in quarantine. Because if I wasn't in quarantine, I would not have watched Drag Race.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't want to be shady, but like that, I'm just saying, like,
it's real though. It's real, and I feel like you really speak to the situation at hand, which is that they would have no choice but to evolve at some point, just like Top Model. And I feel like they will definitely at some point have to integrate different forms of drag and not just what they've been doing. Like I would hope to see like a season of drag queens and drag kings, you know, like how America's Next Top Model had the men and women go together in one season. Like I feel like they have no choice but to evolve if they want to succeed and allow more.
I think that the real problem too is that they're calling it the Olympics of drag, but it's not, because one, the things they ask you to do on the show, most drag entertainers don't do afterward. Also, a lot of things they ask you to do in the show, RuPaul can't do or doesn't do. And then another thing is that, you know, it's not really a competition of drag. It's a competition of drag in accordance to RuPaul's past career, like what she did, like, you know, and coming up. And I am thankful for the doors that RuPaul has opened up using the show. But I think that at some point people should start recognizing more positive influences in the community that are coming up right now. You know, we also have a lot of drag artists from different places. There's drag artists from the ballroom. There's drag artists from different places. Look at Pablo Vittar, Brazilian drag queen.
I love Pablo. Oh my gosh.
Like, amazing singers making songs. You know, was the first drag queen ever nominated for MTV Music Awards, Grammys. Like, come on, like those are big accolades that nobody's really like even paying mind to. And I think, like, you know, I think a lot of people for many years have sort of labeled RuPaul, because of her mascot status on Drag Race, as, you know, the do-all end-all of drag. And I think that Pablo Vittar is a good testimony of drag being able to surpass what you know, societal construct has allowed it to. So I think that I want to see more of that happen in America. And I would also love to see, and I know there's a lot of people who want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one thing, in order to do that, you kind of have to break away from the Drag Race brand.
Yeah.
The Drag Race brand does not allow you to become adjacent or bigger than RuPaul. And I think that a lot of queens have a potential not to serve. I don't want to say surpass RuPaul because it's not a competition.
Right.
But I think that there's big accolades and big goals for a lot of these queens and artists to really achieve if they put their mind to it. And I think a lot of them have sort of already kind of achieved those things.
I mean, I feel like to start a show like that, I would hope RuPaul would want people to surpass her. I mean, in some way, not maybe not using that word, but everybody stands on the shoulders of somebody else. So,
yes.
I mean, I feel like that would, without that, the show would be truly like without purpose. So I love that. I feel
like, you know, you have to think about it. Like, RuPaul did sort of walk, so a lot of these queens could run. That is the truth.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you know, if you look at it in a way, it doesn't mean nobody's gonna eventually, you know, get in the car instead of running. I don't know if that makes sense. But like, you know, I don't know what I'm saying, but like I'm saying, like, you know, it's time for somebody.
I got you. Yes.
Somebody to pass. And you know, I don't really have a passion for drag anymore, so that person is not going to be me. I'm gonna be doing my own thing. But I know that there's a lot of people who do have that potential, and I really want them to go forward and do so.
Yeah.
I don't want people to just like be like, well, this is it.
Yeah.
That would be like a shame.
Yeah. Well, I forgot what the last question was. I had it flowing in my head a whole lot more smoothly, but I was just excited because, again, huge fan. I haven't done, you know, one of these since the pandemic happened. Just very excited to talk to you because, again, huge fan. I think your music is, your pen game, I have to give it to you. You are such a great writer, a great entertainer. Again, your lives bring me joy. They do. Sad Girl Hour. Sad Girl Hour is it because it makes me feel my feelings, and I feel like more than anything right now, especially for our community, it's important that we feel our feelings and go through all the emotions so that we're able to kind of find some resolve in it and be able to pick ourselves up to fight this fight that we have to. So I thank you for what you do in entertainment, and your creativity is much needed. And I thank you for talking to me because it's an honor. And I was just excited. I'm super excited, and I'm rambling now because it was so great to talk to you.
No, thank you. I've had a pleasure talking to you as well. I think it's important to speak up at this time. Like, honestly, if you don't do this, like, how will we get the message out there?
Yeah.
Like, even online, I think it, you know, you doing this and me talking to you, this is another form of protest. We're protesting right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a part of getting that message out there.
Yeah. There you go. You said it. That's it. Hey, what's up? This is Mac on Demand. So remember that this is only a portion of the interview. And if you want to hear the full clip, head on over to our podcast.